Adaeze and Nnamdi were born just a few weeks apart, and from their first steps, they walked through life side by side from dawn till dusk. Adaeze and Nnamdi roamed the village together. Whether they were climbing mango trees, swimming in the village stream, or helping their parents with chores, they were inseparable. Their bond was a source of amusement for the elders and a sign of hope for the younger children. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Adaeze and Nnamdi sat on a hill overlooking their village. They were 17 now, on the cusp of adulthood, but their friendship was as strong as ever. Adaeze, Nnamdi began, his voice filled with a mix of seriousness and affection. Do you think we'll always be together like this? Adaeze turned to look at him, her eyes reflecting the setting sun. Of course, Nnamdi. We'll always be best friends. And more than that, I promise to love you forever. Nnamdi smiled, reaching out to hold her hand. I promise to love you forever too, Adaeze, no matter what. Their promise, made under the witness of the setting sun, was as unshakable as the bond they shared. The village elders often spoke of their own childhood friendships, but none seemed as pure and steadfast as the one between Adaeze and Nnamdi. Years passed, and the bond between Adaeze and Nnamdi only grew stronger. By the time they were 21, it was clear to everyone in Umuoka that their friendship had blossomed into something deeper. They began dating, and the entire village approved wholeheartedly. Their relationship was a source of joy and inspiration. Adaeze's beauty, kindness, and intelligence perfectly complemented Nnamdi's handsomeness, ambition, and dedication. They were like two halves of a whole, and their love story was the pride of Umuoka. At 27, after years of courtship, Nnamdi and Adaeze decided to marry. The entire village gathered to celebrate their union, and the festivities were nothing short of magical. Adaeze's smile shone brighter than the sun, and Nnamdi's eyes sparkled with joy. The ceremony was held under the shade of the ancient baobab tree, its wide branches providing a natural canopy for the celebration. The village elders, dressed in their finest traditional attire, led the ceremony with songs and blessings, invoking the spirits of their ancestors to protect and guide the newlyweds. As the evening progressed, the sounds of drumming and singing filled the air, and the villagers danced with abandon. Nnamdi and Adaeze were the center of attention, their love radiating like a beacon of hope and happiness. Shortly after their wedding, Adaeze became pregnant. Their joy knew no bounds as they anticipated the arrival of their first child. However, as the pregnancy reached its third month, Nnamdi began to feel the weight of their financial struggles. One evening, as Adaeze rested, Nnamdi approached her with a troubled expression. Adaeze, my love, I've been thinking. We need more money to provide a good life for our child. My friend Chigazi has invited me to the city. He says there are opportunities there. Adaeze's heart sank. She had a bad feeling about Nnamdi leaving the village. Nnamdi, please don't go. I don't feel right about it. We can manage here, together. But Nnamdi was determined. I have to do this for us, Adaeze. I promise I'll come back soon. I'll send money, and we'll be better off. Despite her protests and the gnawing fear in her heart, Adaeze knew she couldn't hold him back. She watched with tears in her eyes as Nnamdi packed his bags and left for the city, hoping against hope that he would return soon. Nnamdi's arrival in the city was overwhelming. The noise, the crowds, and the towering buildings were a stark contrast to the peaceful village of Umuoka. Chigazi welcomed him with open arms, eager to show him the ways of the city. Welcome, my brother, Chigazi said, clapping Nnamdi on the back. "You made the right choice coming here. There's plenty of money to be made, but you have to be smart and keep your eyes open." Nnamdi was eager to learn. Chigozie took him to various places, introducing him to people and showing him the ropes. One night, he brought Nnamdi to a lavish party filled with wealthy, older women. "These women will pay you a lot of money for companionship," Chigozie whispered, a sly grin on his face. "It's easy money, Nnamdi. Just be charming." Nnamdi was taken aback. The thought of being with other women for money was repulsive, but the lure of quick cash was strong. He thought of Adaeze, their unborn child, and the poverty they were living in. Hesitantly, he agreed. That night, Nnamdi made his first 300,000 naira. It was more money than he had ever seen in his life. He sent half of it to Adaeze, who was shocked and overwhelmed with questions. "How did you make so much money so quickly?" she asked over the phone, her voice filled with a mix of relief and suspicion. "Don't worry, Adaeze. I found a good job," Nnamdi lied, unable to face the truth of what he had done. As the weeks turned into months, Nnamdi's calls became less frequent. He changed, becoming distant and cold. Adaeze sensed something was wrong but couldn't pinpoint it. The money continued to flow, but it brought little comfort to her troubled heart. Eventually, Nnamdi stopped calling and sending money altogether. Adaeze was left alone, pregnant and heartbroken. But she was determined to survive for the sake of their child. With the money Nnamdi had sent, she bought a piece of land and started a farm, employing several villagers to help her. Despite the pain of Nnamdi's absence, Adaeze found strength within herself. She threw herself into her work, turning her farm into a thriving business. The villagers admired her resilience and determination. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy, whom she named Chidubem, meaning "God is my guide." Years passed, and Adaeze's farm flourished. She saved money, bought more land, and provided for her son. Chidubem grew up in a loving and supportive environment, surrounded by his mother's strength and the care of the villagers. One day, Adaeze decided it was time to take Chidubem to the city. She wanted to show him the world beyond their village and perhaps find out what had happened to Nnamdi. They arrived in the bustling city, where Adaeze felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. As they explored the city, they came across a man who looked familiar. He was sitting on a street corner, looking disheveled and defeated. Adaeze's heart skipped a beat. It was Nnamdi. Adaeze approached Nnamdi cautiously, her heart pounding in her chest. "Nnamdi," she called softly. Nnamdi looked up, his eyes hollow and filled with shame. "Adaeze? Is it really you?" Tears welled up in Adaeze's eyes as she took in the sight of her once handsome husband, now a shadow of his former self. "What happened to you, Nnamdi?" Nnamdi hung his head in shame. "I lost everything, Adaeze. I got caught up in gambling and bad choices. I was too ashamed to come back to you." Adaeze's heart ached with a mixture of anger and compassion. She wanted to scream at him for abandoning her, but the love they once shared held her back. She reached out and took his hand. "Come with us, Nnamdi. Let's go home." Nnamdi looked up, his eyes filled with tears. "Do you mean it? After everything I've done?" Adaeze nodded, her voice firm. "We made a promise to love each other forever, remember? We'll get through this together." Nnamdi returned to Umuoka with Adaeze and Chidubem. The villagers were shocked to see him, but Adaese's strength and forgiveness inspired them to welcome him back. Nnamdi worked hard to rebuild his life, helping Adaeze on the farm and reconnecting with his son. The road to redemption was not easy, but with Adaese's unwavering support, Nnamdi found his way back. He learned the value of hard work and integrity, and slowly, he regained the trust of the villagers. Nnamdi's journey of redemption was marked by humility and perseverance. He took on the most menial tasks on the farm, proving to Adaeze and the villagers that he was committed to making amends. He worked from dawn until dusk, never complaining, always grateful for the second chance he had been given. One day, while working in the fields, Nnamdi collapsed from exhaustion. Adaeze rushed to his side, her heart pounding with fear. "Nnamdi, you need to rest. You're pushing yourself too hard." Nnamdi shook his head, his eyes filled with determination. "I have to make up for the lost time, Adaeze. I need to prove to you and to myself that I'm worthy of your love and forgiveness." Adaeze's heart ached for him. She knelt beside him, gently placing her hand on his cheek. "You've already proven that, Nnamdi. What matters now is that we're together, as a family. We'll face whatever comes our way, together." Nnamdi nodded, tears streaming down his face. "Thank you, Adaeze. I don't deserve you, but I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret taking me back." As the years passed, Nnamdi and Adaeze's farm flourished. They expanded their business, providing employment for many villagers and contributing to the prosperity of Umuaka. Chidubem grew into a fine young man, embodying the values of hard work, integrity, and love that his parents had instilled in him. The villagers often spoke of Adaeze and Nnamdi's love story as a testament to the power of forgiveness and redemption. Their journey had been filled with trials and tribulations, but their unwavering commitment to each other had seen them through. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Adaeze and Nnamdi sat on the same hill where they had made their childhood promises. They held hands, their hearts filled with gratitude for the life they had built together. "Nnamdi," Adaeze said softly, her eyes reflecting the setting sun, "I love you. Thank you for coming back to us." Nnamdi squeezed her hand, his eyes filled with love and remorse. "I love you too, Adaeze. Thank you for forgiving me and giving me a second chance." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Adaeze and Nnamdi knew that their love had not only endured but had grown stronger through the years. They had faced the darkness and emerged into the light, their bond unbroken and their hearts forever intertwined. And so, under the witness of the setting sun, Adaeze and Nnamdi reaffirmed their childhood promises, knowing that their love would continue to shine brightly, guiding them through whatever challenges lay ahead.